chances that I missed. Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wonder what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time gone by, I've traded like blood into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, folks. Hey, this is 1100 WSGI. Time to jump on in here. Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday, right, Rachel? Okay.
It's Wednesday.
I guess this is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is Rachel Allison, and she is from Stay Positive News.
Good morning.
Hello. And I just love that you're coming in here once a month now, because it's just I know that we're going to talk about positive things and it's going to be fun and all those things, but Rachel is here, and well, let me turn the music down. I got this music going in the background here. We'll get it fixed. But Rachel is here, and I've got to know, did y'all do anything with the eclipse for Stay Positive News?
Not really, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's all this build up, and then it's boom, and we're done.
Yeah, we watched it. We all got together and just watched it together, and it was fun. But I heard there was a big event here in Springfield at Stuart Williams Furniture. Did you go to that?
Well, no, we were actually in Kentucky.
Oh,
and we intentionally planned a couple of months ago. We're dealing with my parents' home that we're
Right.
they've passed, and so so we needed a day to go up there and load furniture and do some moving and things. And I was like, well, why don't we just go up there whenever the eclipse is happening, and it'll be in totality. And so we decided to go to Kentucky. Now, the farm that I grew up on was just a couple of miles outside of totality. So for us to have had the full experience, we would have had to probably driven up to Riverfront Park up in Paducah.
Okay.
And we just didn't have time to do it. So we just stepped out in the yard at the farm, and and it was so weird because my brother is planting. He's busy. He just like whatever. And the only thing I noticed in the field was that the tractor lights came on.
that is so funny. Yeah. And he just kept going.
Oh, hell, he just kept going.
Well, I mean, why not?
It's time of the year.
Right.
And I mean, he probably went, okay. And then just, and now one of my sons went, the one that's the electrical engineer that's, he's all into space. He builds drones and all that kind of stuff. Big drones. But, he works down in Alabama. And, so he took time off and drove into Arkansas. Ooh. Where it was in totality. And he put up just a couple of pictures today. Now, they were not nearly as impressive as the ones he did in 2017. I'll pull them up real quick and show you. But the ones he did in 2017 were amazing. And that was kind of his focus. But they did there's his ones he took this week.
What?
But now
Those
you
are
should
so
see
good.
you should see the ones from 2017. But his big focus, they put up another weather balloon, and they did a weather balloon last time and got some amazing stuff. But he was really kind of focusing more on the weather balloon and that kind of thing. And so, he goes, I just didn't take as many pictures. And so, I mean, he really got good ones last time.
That is so cool.
But yeah, he went, and I cannot wait to see what they got with the balloon. They showed me kind of a screenshot of the computer as he was going through some of the footage, and it looks pretty cool. So, I mean, it's neat,
I love that. I love that.
It's cool stuff.
A lot of people travel to see it in totality, and I didn't realize that
such a big deal.
But yeah, no, it's really cool.
Well, and one of the things too, this is from, I can't get my words out today. I think it was Bill Jones that's in here. He's our local weather guy. And I mean, he is a volunteer weather person, but he does report to the National Weather Service. I mean, I believe, and he's a big ham radio operator and does testing and all that kind of stuff. So he's the guy locally. And he told me, he said, you realize that there is a totality eclipse every 18 months, I think is what he said, somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
So there's people that chase them,
Oh, that's so fun.
And I think the next year's in Spain, somebody said.
Okay.
I can't, something like that. And the next totality that we'll have on this continent is not for 20 years, I think.
Really? Oh, okay.
I think, or maybe.
It seems like the last two were close together.
Yeah, and it's weird, and so we'll see eclipses. It's like, we will see partial eclipses, but to have it totality, that's the weird part of it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So it's
to
different.
See
it's different.
Kind of like eerie, dark, and the crickets start going.
Yeah, it's pretty
it was
cool.
Fun.
Yeah,
I watched it. I had my 4-year-old with me at the time because he got his tonsils out and is not feeling so great.
Oh, bless.
But it was really fun to watch it with him and just see the amazement on his face.
Yeah, and
what is going on?
Yeah, it is kind of it's really cool. So, well, in 20 years you can drive about, I don't know, it's 4 or 5 hours, and there'll be another one. I forget exactly where, but he'll be old enough that he can appreciate it maybe more. But there's all kinds of fun stuff from the eclipse. So just keep watching for all the footage. And if my son does get some really cool stuff from the balloon that they launched, the weather balloon, then I'll put that up too.
Yeah,
but.
I want to see that.
So what are we talking about today, Rachel?
Well, we've got all kinds of positive stories.
Good.
Of course, it's been a month since I saw you last.
Yes.
So yeah, we've got some great stuff that have been going on. You want to just dive right in?
Sure. Absolutely. What do we want to start with?
Okay. Well, have you heard of the Space Cowboys out of White House, Tennessee?
Okay. It seems like I have, but update me. Okay. Are they a band?
No, they're not. They're a
never
baseball
mind.
team. They have a really unique name, which I love. But yeah, so these young men, I want to say they're like maybe 3rd graders, 4th graders. They're on a baseball team over there in White House, but they are coached by Felipe Piliam, and I'm sorry, Felipe, if I messed up your last name there, but they were building a wheelchair ramp for another athlete. This athlete wasn't on their team, but just a fellow athlete in the area who had suffered a stroke and is in a wheelchair now. And they went to his house and they actually built him a wheelchair ramp, which is really cool.
Oh, I'm looking at these kiddos right now. Yeah, I had not heard about this.
We got some
they're
great
adorable.
pictures
of
them actually doing it. Like they worked and they spent a day doing that. And it's really cool because as their coach, they're not just trying to teach them baseball. They're trying to teach them how to give back to others and life lessons. And so I just thought that was really, really cool that so many of them showed up to help and do that.
Mm-hmm. That is cute. That is adorable. And Space Cowboys, I thought, because they are. So I guess they're going to kind of make this a thing they do regular, is serving in a benevolence way like that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
love that. And guys, what we're talking about, Stay Positive News, is how long have y'all been in operation now?
We are almost 1 year old next month.
So we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary, and this was something that the guys wanted to get together and do, and then they brought you in to run it, and it is just an opportunity to have a place where you can go check in and see what's going on one street over from where you live in, because it focuses on Sumner and Robertson County.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah. We know that regular news is important. We've talked about that before. But our focus is just positivity, because we all can use some more positivity in our lives to just help with balance out all the negativity out there. And we chose Stay Positive as our name just because it is a choice. It's a choice. You can't just be a la da 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 all the time, but you can choose to be positive about different situations and where you're at. So that's why we're always trying to find the good.
There was a little, this is, you have these things that come up on social media. I'm trying to think. It was talking about how to change your life in 1 year. Okay. And one of the key things is stop complaining. And it's talking about being positive.
Right.
Those were some of the main things is your attitude. So it's like, if you really want to facilitate change in your life, one of the first things you do is might need to change what's going on in your spirit and in just your attitude, and just turn off that awful news and just stay positive.
Absolutely.
There you go. StayPositiveNews.com.
And
right?
the internet out there, there's so much. It's and not all of it's bad either, but there's just so much coming at you. It's really important to be intentional. And so that's
let me correct the website. StayPositive.news. I went
yes.
.com. I knew better than that. StayPositive.news. Go.
All good. Yeah. I mean, it's very important to be intentional about that. And so we're giving people here in Middle Tennessee, and honestly, if you are not from Middle Tennessee, and I have family back in New Hampshire who follow along with what we're doing here, and they love our stories because it gives you something tangible to go to. So you can go to our website, read a story, start your day, put yourself in that right attitude, meditate, pray, whatever it is you do for your morning routine. Just kind of add this in there. And yes, you'll start making those positive changes throughout your life. I'm not like an overtly optimistic or necessarily positive person per se, but over this past year being in this role, it's put me in the position to want to be more that way. Yeah. And of course, being exposed to all these positive stories, how can I not have a smile on my face? It
changes. I had a big change over my life in the last couple of years. And the key thing is that I quit getting out of the bed and turning on 99.7. I still love you guys. I love y'all, but I don't turn it on anymore. And I turned it off, and I started going into scripture and, spiritual music and things like that. And again, the positive side completely changed me. Completely. And it is a proven thing, guys. So staypositive.news is where you can find it. And so do we have anything cool from Miss Mabel this month?
Yes.
Did Miss Mabel put up something new?
Miss Mabel, she put up something new about spring weather.
Okay.
We are all feeling that right now because how many winters have we gone through in Tennessee?
I don't know. We had red bud winter and, all the things.
So it's like you just keep getting tricked. You keep thinking, okay, the warm weather's here to stay. No, it's not.
It's back and forth. But we are knocking on the tax day door, and that's always kind of the marker. Has been in my history where you can put your tomatoes in the ground after tax day. Not always. Well, that's not the last couple of years we've had some pretty rough temperatures after the 15th of April. So really, Mother's Day is kind of your safety mark. After Mother's Day, you can pretty much plant anything. Right now, you got to have things that are a little bit cold hardy until this stuff, so we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. That's my point. I'm looking at the high for today. The high today is 70. So if you look at the forecast right now, we've got a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, highs in the 60s, but we're in the 70s solid through the weekend. And we've even got a forecast for 80 on Wednesday next week, y'all.
I love it.
There you go. We're heading that way. So we are talking with Rachel Allison. She is with StayPositive.news. StayPositive.news. It's a great, and y'all got tons of stories on here. You can just sit here and read and enjoy all this stuff. Now, I do want to say, we're trying to connect with your sports guy, and he had and remind me his name. I don't have it in front of me. Chris.
Yes.
And we've had really nice texts back and forth. He was planning on coming in one morning, got sick. couldn't make it. And so now we're trying to get our schedules together. And about the only time he's available consistently is on Fridays. Well, that's our Faith Friday segment, which stays. We have reoccurring guests on Faith Friday on 2 of the Fridays, or completely, well, no, actually 3 Fridays we have reoccurring guests right now. So we only have one Friday that's open. I've got him on the calendar to come in on a Faith Friday, even though it's a sports thing, because we'll sprinkle some of the faith stuff in there too.
Yeah.
But we've got him on the calendar again for the end of this month. So we haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
But he got sick.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, he got sick. And I mean, you can't help it. I had the same thing happen to me last week. I missed 2 days in here because I got sick. So it happens sometimes. Well, it's just that time of the year.
Yes.
And so, it just, you can't do nothing about it. But we had Chris on schedule, and he had to bail. But he's back on the schedule for the end of this week.
I know he's excited.
Well, he's a great guy. I mean, we just had a great little conversation via text. But, I'm looking forward to visiting with him.
Yeah. So. He's working on a great story right now. I can't say too much, but we're waiting on some interviews from UT. I'll just say that on a sports-related story. So I am excited for that when it comes out, maybe a couple weeks, hopefully. That's all I can really say.
Well, and you've got a story in here about the Springfield baseball coach.
I do.
And I was just looking at that. So, I mean, if you open it up and you're like, okay, well, that's Sumner County, but just keep looking. There's tons of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You've got an East Robertson story in here about Luke Murphy. I mean, just all kinds of stuff, guys. And I just really encourage you to get in there and take a look at this. But this story about the Springfield baseball coach, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is his dream.
So someone reached out to me about that story. And by the way, that's how we get a lot of our news stories is from people who, follow along with us. And so someone reached out and was like, hey, you need to follow up with the Springfield high school baseball coach. Like, he's doing really great things. He's got a super cool story. So I was like, absolutely. And turns out it's a really cute story. Ronnie Matthews, if you have not met him yet, he's quite the character. He's a retired major from the U.S. Army. He graduated from White House High School and then has a passion for baseball. So he's coached over 30 years baseball. And then he 2023 just became the Springfield high school baseball coach. Apparently it was a job he really had to work for. He tells this really funny story about how he was like texting and bugging the principal at the time, like, I want this job. And they finally did give it to him, and he's doing really great things.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's really the way you sometimes get in the door on things.
Oh yeah,
you gotta be persistent. You got to be persistent. You got to be a bit of a pest. When my first time opening a microphone in Nashville became because I pestered my program director to pieces, and it's like let me on the air, and so don't take no. And I mean, you don't have to be obnoxious, but continue to remind them I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. I love that it was that persistent, just kind of hey,
yeah,
hey, I'm here
I want this job.
That's great. That's a great story.
They've got a team slogan that they have adopted, and it's called we over me. And so that is something that they talk about daily. I just love using sports as a way to just build young people into leaders and people who give back to their community. And so this is another great example of another team that's just doing great things and really teaching life lessons to these kids. It is more than just about baseball. It is for sure. And this is something Jamie, one of our Stay Positive News founders, has mentioned several times, is that whenever you go to fill out a resume, if you've been part of an athletic team if you had some things you can put on a resume in relation to being an athlete, it does get the attention of potential employers. Yeah.
And that does stand out when they find out that you played, if you played organized sports, it shows commitment, it shows drive, it shows just so many things, determination, especially if you did it more than a couple of months, but it does. It just really, it really shows something about your character. And so employers like to see that stuff. So, what else you got for
I
us,
love
Rachel?
that. Yeah, and Coach Ronnie is doing a great job over there teaching those kids all those things. So, okay, well, another story I've got, we had another student of the month. So this is a newer segment that we started with Stay Positive News. We wanted to feature students here in Robertson County or Sumner County. They needed to be nominated by their school, of course, have parent permission. And so our seniors this past month for April come from White House Heritage High School. They were nominated by their principal, Kim Haas. It's Erica Bucket and Abby Page. Have you heard those names before?
I have not. What should I know about them?
These ladies, wow. That's all I have to say is wow.
Okay.
They both are top of their class. They are involved in various extracurricular activities. But what the most impressive thing is they're both in the Air Force Junior ROTC, and they both have their pilot's license. They're not even graduated yet. They're seniors in high school, and they have their pilot's license.
That's cool.
And they both do wrestling. So when Kim I actually had reached out about Erica Bucket because I've read some articles about her from some other local publications here. And she was like, yeah, I want to also do Abby. And I was like, okay, we're kind of new to this segment. I'm not really sure about like students sharing the spotlight, because I want both of them. And she's like, they're good friends. They do everything together. Yeah. They're in Air Force Junior ROTC. They're in wrestling together. They're in some different classes together. And actually, so we were like, okay, let's feature them both. Erica is going to a U.S. military academy at West Point.
That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm like, yeah, okay.
So this is a really big deal.
That's pretty impressive.
If you know nothing about West Point,
awesome.
Just know you have to have a nomination letter from a senator, a state senator, to be even considered to get into West Point. So Erica, of course, got that. And she's the first member of the junior ROTC unit to be accepted to West Point. So congrats to Erica. She's going to do big things there. And then Abby is accepted to Auburn University with a full scholarship, and they have a really great aviation program there too. So she'll be pursuing that. And then Abby also, they both wrestle, but Abby, like, wrestling is like really, really her thing. She's done really good. She was just recognized by the city of White House for some of her achievements. She won the 2024 Region 3 114-pound champion title. She had a 14-3 record, and then she also got 4th place at the state tournament, which is like another record for White House Heritage High School. So
that's pretty cool.
This
is a great story. I pulled this up when you started talking about them, and I love this picture of these two young ladies by the plane.
Oh, yeah.
They look tough now. That is an excellent picture. I love it.
Oh, they look straight out of Top Gun.
Yeah, they really do.
They look so cool.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wow. What a great story. And that's the kind of I just love that they did both of them.
Yes.
And you said the first one you went looking for was the one that was going
Erica.
To West Point?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's cool.
It's
really cool. Yeah.
For sure. But both of these young women, I mean, their resumes are already better than mine. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You're going to do great
impressive stuff.
I'm honored to write this article about you.
Isn't that wonderful? Go and check that story out. There's so many cool things on here. And we talk about what you're going to do when you first get up, say your prayers, give God the glory, do a little praise. But then as you're trying to find out what's going on and just things to inspire you, find out more about the things in the community around you and all these wonderful stories about people who you one street over from where you're living are walking along right with you and are making a difference in your community. We're changing it from the inside out. Guys, and it is just the coolest thing. But it's staypositive.news, staypositive.news. Let's pause and let's take a break. We do need to talk about a couple of things. Let's start today with our Cumberland Connect folks. We just love them so much. It is a wonderful thing to have high-speed internet because we all need it now. And it is a utility. It has replaced our phone lines, but now you can still have a phone line through Cumberland Connect. But they are very quickly giving the option to connect to everybody that is a Cumberland Electric customer. That's Cumberland Connect is powered by Cumberland Electric. If you're a Cumberland Electric customer, then you will eventually get access. They're working very hard to give everybody access. And if you want to find out if they're in your neighborhood, you can go to cumberlandconnect.org, or you can give them a call. The number is 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. You put in your address, and they may say, hey, we're there. Do you want us to come knock on your door maybe today? They can get to you really quick. Once they've got it set up, it does not take long to get you connected, and their customer service, phenomenal. I had an issue the other day, and things just weren't working right, and I called them. And I said, my internet's just not, it was still performing, much better than anything I'd ever had, but it just seemed a little sluggish. They're like, oh, you need an update. So they did it wireless. I mean, they did it through the phone line. And within 5 minutes, I was powering up at, upload speeds at 700, 800, megabits per, it was insane. And it just was incredible. The upload speeds and the download speeds I got just like that. And great customer service, everything you need from Cumberland Connect. Now, if you're somebody that's saying, okay, I've got a gig, it's $80 a month, great deal. That's a lot of money for some folks. And if you're struggling and you need some help financially, well, they have an affordable connectivity program that can provide qualifying households with up to $30 per month to help pay for broadband services. And they have packages starting at just $30 per month, so you can get it covered. It is a utility now, and we all need it. You can talk to them to find out more, cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org. Please always let them know their ad dollars are working, and let them know that U-Turn sent you. We are talking with Rachel Allison. She is with StayPositive.news. I gotta always add that .news on there, because if I say Stay Positive News, I'm afraid they're going to .com it and not find it. It's in my browser, so it just pops up. But
love that.
The first time you get it, you're going to go StayPositive.news, StayPositive.news, and it'll pop up, and you're going to love it. You're going to just sit there. You're going to read Miss Mabel. I love Miss Mabel. I just love the whole concept of that, because I grew up with Dear Abby.
Yes.
And so it's got that kind of feel.
Yeah, she's so fun. She is like your Southern grandma that is not afraid to tell you how it is, but she's also very funny. She has many life experiences. She loves to share. So this past month, she talked about just some different advice for dealing with the spring weather here in Tennessee. So you should definitely check that one out.
But did she give us any home remedies for allergies and stuff?
No.
Yeah, 'cause that would be that's a lot of the times the older folks would be like, we do this and do that and all that.
Oh yeah. Well, I specifically asked her for that because I know a lot of people are struggling, and her response was stay inside.
Oh no,
Miss Mabel.
That's not fun.
I know she's a little spicy at times, but
a little snarky there, I think, Miss Mabel. That's great. Well, where else do you want to go with?
So, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. We went into business last May of 2023, and about 6 months into doing Stay Positive News, God had put something on my heart saying that made me want to fundraise money for a nonprofit. Okay. And at the same time, I was approached by Pastor Steve Cunningham of Well House Church. He's like, hey, I want to have coffee with you to discuss something. I'm like, okay, cool. I had known Pastor Steve for a while, but he was like, I want to maybe see how we can work with Well House Church together and Stay Positive News. So I was like, okay, I don't know what this meeting's about. I walk in, we sit down for coffee. He's like, so I want to raise money for buying Christmas presents for kids in need, and I want to do it together with you. I think we should put on this like fundraising event. And I was like, really? Because the Lord had already put this on my heart, and now here you are. So we launched the Legacy Gala last year. It was last November. And the organization that we worked with last year was called His Children Foundation. And they provide duffel bags to kids who are being put into foster care, because a lot of times these kids just get swept out of their home, and stuff gets like thrown into a trash bag or, a little grocery bag or something. And these kids don't have real luggage. So this organization, the main thing they do is they'll give them a brand new duffel bag. They'll put their name on it. They'll put a Bible in there, toys in there, hygiene items, all these things that probably didn't get grabbed when these kids left the home. But the wonderful thing that we were able to do through His Children Foundation is they know about all these foster kids in the area who don't really have Christmas. And so we were able to partner with them. They had a list of, I think, just over 100 children that they were like, we need to buy Christmas presents for them, or we want to. And so we were able to fundraise over $30,000 last year through the Legacy Gala to give to His Children Foundation, who then took that money and they went Christmas shopping for these kids and blessed. I think it ended up being over 150.
Oh, wow.
150 kids total for Christmas who were in foster care. And a lot of these kids, they hadn't ever really had a great Christmas before because they're coming from a bad home life or they just haven't really got things they want. We actually got them like fun toys, not just like boring clothes and things. Yeah. Of course, we got some of that too. I got to help with the shopping.
Be a little practical.
It was super fun. Yeah, you got to.
Well, and that's kind of a legacy of the Well House Church too. They've been doing this stuff to bless people at Christmas for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
And that's something that has always impressed me about Well House. And that's up in. Are they meeting still at the skating rink or where? Are
they are in Millersville now.
They're in Millersville.
Yeah, okay. I think in the new city hall they're meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, so it went so well last year. We had a big event. People got dressed up all fancy, and there was an auction, and everybody was so generous with their donations. Again, we were able to raise over $30,000. So we're doing it again this year. Okay. Save the date. It's November 7th, and I would like to invite you to be there, of course. But what I want to announce now is we have an open application for nonprofits to now apply to be the recipient of this year's. Now, I'm not guaranteeing we're going to raise the same amount of money. Of course, we're going to try our hardest. But so if you are a nonprofit board member or a nonprofit owner, is that even the correct term?
Or if you're on, if you're on the board or helping to facilitate, volunteer, or anything like that, and you know about a nonprofit that would benefit from this. Yeah, so
you can go to our website or our Facebook page, and there's a link on there, or you can send me an email or a DM, and I'll send you the application. There are some important things on the application that you'll probably, want to make sure you have the correct information for, such as like, what's your legal
your tax ID
and all the things. And we do kind of ask some questions about financials, just like briefly. But yeah, so that is open for any local nonprofit to apply, and then it's going to be reviewed by a committee and to see who will be chosen this year, because we're just like we want to be fair. Can't do the same one year and year again. But that's something that I personally invest a lot of time into doing, and it's just because I want to help.
Yeah,
I just want to help.
And I'll tell you, one of the things too is as a parent, when you see, because we all of us who have kids in our life that are well loved, they're so spoiled, and it's wonderful. And every child should have the opportunity to be loved as much as the ones we love. And that's probably one of the things that just hits me between the eyes is man, we have grandchildren that we don't fight over, but we're like, well, I want to do this with them, and you know what I mean? You're vying for time. Just can't wait to get with the grandkids. And there's so many kids that have none of that. They don't have anybody that's pouring into them. And certainly during the holidays when everybody's getting, that's working in the high schools and talking to different kids and stuff. Well, what did you do over Christmas? Oh, nothing. Yeah. It is unfortunate that is what so many kids have to deal with. And so we have to pour into these nonprofits that help these kids year round, but especially during the holidays when it's a special time and they want to be recognized as well. Yeah. For sure.
And I know there are so many great other nonprofits in our area who help children in other ways too. And to apply for this, don't even necessarily have to be focused on just children alone. As long as you are a nonprofit, we are open to considering your application, and they are due sometime in June. I think maybe June 30th is the due date. So make sure you get that submitted, please. We would love to see as many applications as possible.
Well, and Isaiah House, the Isaiah House, I think that would be a great connection too. I know they do have a lot of people that pour into them, but we always think we're like, oh, somebody's helping them. Are they? You sometimes assume that people are, and maybe they're not. So I mean, that would be a good one right there. But we're talking with Rachel Allison. She is with StayPositive.news, StayPositive.news, talking about all the positive stories in the Robertson and Sumner County area. This is a great website that you can go and check out just positive things going on in the area. If you want something to start your day, find out about these Students of the Month articles. I love that. I love seeing these kiddos get recognized. And two, written by our reader segments. We're people who are just normal folks that like to write. You can submit stories, and there's some great stories on here that are written by some of the readers. So just a lot of things that you can check out on StayPositive.news. They visit with us every month on the second Wednesday. And we're going to pause for just a second, though, and let's do a quick break. And we'll come back and we'll continue on. I got to talk about our Veterans Motorplex. Talking with Jerry, this is we're in racing season. I know that they're not running around the track yet, but because they needed to do some improvements to the track, they are saying just wait. As soon as they open the gates and invite us in, it is going to be fabulous because they've been doing some improvements. They were hoping they would be racing this weekend, but with the weather and things like that, they have just not been able to get the gates open this weekend. They're hoping to maybe have the first official race of the season on the last weekend in April. They're still doing improvements. They're hoping for a test run on the weekend of the 20th. So we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. But the Veterans Motorplex, it is racing season, yes, but Jerry just wants to keep reminding you, just because we're not out there racing doesn't mean we are not ready to go. As soon as they finish these track improvements, it's going to be awesome. This is a 1/4 mile high-banked asphalt bull ring track. It is fun for the whole family. It is family-friendly. Unlike a lot of racetracks you go to, there's no alcohol service. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff if you want to bring your kiddos in. And they got a great concession stand. A lot of my students have worked in that concession stand. It gives a lot of the local kids their first job. He's actually talking to one of my students right now about hiring them to do some stuff. And just a great guy. Great place. It's the old Highland Rim Speedway. You want to follow them on social media by checking out Highland Rim Speedway. They kept the old social media presence, but you'll see the banner, Veterans Motorplex Racing, getting underway very, very soon. We are in racing season through October here in Robertson County, and you've got that $40 ticket you'll be able to get and take up to 6 kids and 2 adults for just $40. What a deal. What a deal. Great treasure that we have right here in Robertson County. Veterans Motorplex, when you get in touch with them, you be sure and let them know you turned sent you. Where are we heading next? Rachel Allison is in the house with StayPositive.news and an opportunity for you to see what's just going on in the world that's a positive thing to get you going. What's the next story?
Okay, well, this one is tailored towards some of our employers here. If you are a large employer, listen up, because you might not know about this program. It's called VanStar, and it's coordinated by the Transportation Management Association. It's completely free, and they will come and pick up your employees and take them to and from work.
Oh, wow.
So if you have employees who, they're great, you want them, you need them there, but maybe they don't have reliable transportation for whatever reason, you can coordinate with VanStar, and then they will start arranging that. And then they say it can take as little as 3 weeks to get this customized van pool going.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a really cool thing. They're kind of newer to the area, so I feel like a lot of people don't really know about this opportunity. And I know my husband and my father-in-law, they own a construction business in Goodlettsville. And yeah, a lot of times transportation can be a barrier between hiring people or even retaining good employees.
Yes, for sure.
So this is something that would be really great for them to utilize. And it's completely free again. So why not?
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, with gas prices and things like that, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And what you were just saying, because we ran a roofing company for 20 years, and the transportation issues were enormous because you have some of the guys that would be working for you. Maybe they've had some issues with law enforcement. We'll just leave it at that. Didn't even have a license, and it's just it is a huge problem in many areas trying to get people to and from work. So I just think that's a wonderful service. Can you kind of recap it again and tell me again how they can tap into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to tmagroup.org and reach out to them or get some more information. So it has to be the employer that reaches out first on behalf of their employees. And they said that they can start getting these customized van pool routes up and running in as little as 3 weeks. And they will pick up your employees, take them to work, take them home. Yeah, it will be a van pool, so it's not like you're not getting like a custom limo ride or anything. But yeah, it's completely free, and you probably haven't heard of it just because they're a little bit newer. Yeah. And so if you are a employer here in Robertson County or Sumner County or even Davidson County, they serve too. I think honestly they serve all parts of Middle Tennessee. It's a really great thing that I think
it's interesting. I'd love to know the backstory about why they did that.
Yeah.
You know, what motivates somebody to start a free van pool? There's got to be a backstory.
Yeah.
Because that's an investment. I mean, fuel, good heavens, that's a lot.
Yes.
And so there's got to be a backstory. Somebody that maybe had family that, fell by the wayside because they couldn't get, I bet there's a backstory there.
Absolutely.
But very cool.
Yes. And also, if you think about it, they're kind of reducing the environmental impact as well, which is getting more cars off the road, which we all know traffic is terrible. So all really, really good things. Again, it's called VanStar. You can reach out to them at tmagroup.org for more information.
tmagroup.org. So very good. Staypositive.news. You need some positive news in your life? That's where you go. Staypositive.news. Where else what other stories do we have to work on today?
Okay. Well, I know we're in April, but I'm going to back us up to Valentine's Day, or close to it. So this White House Middle School recently participated back in February 9th for a day they called P.S. I Love You Day. They wore purple to combat the mental health stigma. And so what P.S. I Love You Day is a day that started in 2011 by two sisters out of New York. And they lost their father to suicide back then. And they wanted to use that terrible, awful thing that happened to their family to be able to positively impact others. And so they started celebrating once a year. It's on like the first Friday of February or maybe the second Friday of February each year. And so, yeah, they celebrate it. And now, so it started in 2011. Now it's celebrated in hundreds and hundreds of different schools and organizations across the country. And it's something that they're hoping will catch on a little bit more in this area, which is why we kind of did an article on it. So the day is highlighting the importance of combating loneliness and spreading love to others, whatever that means, because, it's really, really easy to feel lonely in this world. Even if you are constantly surrounded by other people, you can feel like nobody understands me, nobody loves me, nobody would really care. It's really, really easy to start going down that rabbit hole, right? So we want to be very intentional about how we show people our love. And White House Middle School did a great job about that this year. They spent a whole week decorating their classrooms and doing little treats and writing on the walls. And of course, they wore purple on that one day. But the P.S. I Love You Day next year in 2025 actually falls on Valentine's Day. And
that's handy.
Well, yeah, yeah. And you might think like, oh, Valentine's Day, that's cute. Like, P.S. I love you. But also think about people who might be lonely on Valentine's Day. Not to get all sad over here, right? But hey, we've got some time to really plan this out. a lot of people are lonely on Valentine's Day because they're just not with their loved one for whatever reason. And so they are really hoping that they'll see some more people participate in the PS I Love You Day.
I love that. And people just don't realize we had, I have a lot of conversations with just kiddos that have been touched in some way, maybe an aunt or an uncle or a friend. And it's just, we're in a place right now where people lose hope. And if you sometimes all it takes is just somebody just engaging with them and saying, just one more day, one more breath. And it makes a huge difference. And, these are conversations that, I have more than I would have ever dreamed possible. And there's just a lot of people that just need an encouragement. So I love that. I love it. And I love that high school kids are getting this, that they see the need. And that's just such a special program. So P.S. I Love You. I love that.
Yeah, you can Google it and learn a little bit more about it. But it is something that is kind of catching on nationwide. So, let's be ahead of the curve here and Robertson County and start participating in that. I love that message.
That is a great one for sure. And we're talking about staypositive.news. This is Rachel Allison. She is so what is your title? What do they call you?
Well, I'm a co-founder, co-owner.
There you go. Okay.
But I'm also the lady in charge.
There you go. You're the one that's doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
The guys need somebody to put the stories in. And do you do a lot of the writing for the page?
I do. I do a fair bit of writing. My name is not necessarily on every article that I write.
Right.
I'll just say that. But yes.
Okay. But, I love this story that you have about AirTech. I am a big fan of AirTech. I love their story. I'm just flipping through here and looking at stories and the ones that are jumping out at me. This is a business here in our community, and if you don't know the backstory to AirTech and how it's a family-owned business and they take care of their people, I love what they say. They hire you to retire you.
Yes,
that's their motto. Their motto.
I was actually just over there yesterday.
Company. Yes, wonderful company. I need to get them back in here. I had the great pleasure of talking with one of the sons of the founder.
Really?
Several years ago.
Cool.
He just happened to, and what an interesting fellow. And I cannot think of his name right now because it's been a bit, because it was when we were still in the studio across the hall here.
Okay.
And just if you have not just taken a look at AirTech, I talked to a lot of my students about the opportunities there. Ones that don't want to go to college. There's a lot of kids now going, I don't want to go to college. I want to find a career within my community. And I said, go knock on the AirTech door and see what they have going on, because it is a fascinating place, a great story, and one you need to really look at if you're wanting to do something different.
AirTech is a Stay Positive partner of ours, which we're so appreciative to have their support. And a Stay Positive partner, by the way, is somebody who financially supports our business, because our stories are all free to our readers to read. So we are so thankful for all of our positive partners. I was just at AirTech yesterday. I've actually toured their facility twice. And let me tell you, when you're thinking like warehouse, production work, when you walk in there, it is like the opposite of what you expect. It is clean. It is bright. It does not smell.
Yeah.
There's not weird machines everywhere.
There's like probably one of the biggest 3D printers ever. If not, when they first bought it, I think it was the biggest. And I think you'd have to talk to, is James Wade still out there?
Oh yeah, James.
I love him.
He's a great
awesome
guy.
And real personable. And it's some funny story. A couple of years ago, I had my friends from Ukraine here, and this is right before the war happened. We didn't know it was going to happen. They were here in the fall, and just before the war started. And they were here, and I was trying to find some smoking barns. And he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, over here," and because I put it up on social media, I was trying to find some of the barns that were smoking to show them, because it was so weird for them. They're like, it was just something unusual. Yeah. So, but he messaged me just kind of out of the blue, and he's like, "I'll show you where to go." And so, because they were out, but he's just
what a great guy.
He's just engaging, and he's just such a nice guy. Every time I've gone out there a couple of times with tours. With the school, and then I had one other time too. I was out there for something completely different, but just always, just like you were the most important person in the world.
Yep.
They'll give you tours and show you around, and just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It is really a cool place.
And that's how they treat their employees too.
Yeah.
I've got to witness that firsthand. It's so funny you brought them up because we have an article coming out about them next week.
Well, there's one on here now too.
Yeah.
From when did that one publish? Family owned, community oriented. This is from February.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we got another one coming out.
Awesome.
This one is about 2 of their female employees who started at like very entry level positions. Now, listen, if you're one of those kids that doesn't want to go to college, listen. So these ladies started at entry level positions. They are now both production supervisors with the company. They absolutely love their jobs. I got to meet them both yesterday too. They're so just happy, bright, bubbly. It's such a great work environment. They're hiring, so if you are 18 and above,
Seriously.
they'll train you. If you are like, I know nothing about manufacturing, I know nothing about aerospace or
cool.
airplanes or any of that, do not worry, because most of the people that start there don't. They will train you everything you need to know.
They hire you to retire you.
I
love that motto,
Yes.
and that has always stuck with me. And I've had people ask me about different places. If I were looking, number one, we need teachers, so we need you to teach. And I can't believe I'm getting to teach. It's just been such an incredible blessing. So I encourage you to look into that. But if if teaching's not your thing and you're wanting a place to really check in and make a difference and have a great career, AirTech. Go knock on their door. And there you go, James. How's that? So we'll make sure we get
Love them over there. They're so community
you see
involved.
him, tell him I need to get him in here because he needs to come
Okay.
in and talk to me and update me.
I will.
I'll reach out too.
I'm going to send him this clip, actually.
Okay, there you go. Awesome. Let's do a break. We need to talk about one of our sponsors, one of our longtime sponsors. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. The new name happened a couple of months ago. They are still part of the Exit team, though. They are still part of that wonderful Exit Realty tree. It's just a new branch in the tree. And if you have anything you need when it comes to real estate, go knock on their door. They are just wonderful to work with. What they did is the team they were working with was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so they decided to take in the brokerage office here in Springfield that Barry is with. And then he started that brokerage office a few months ago. And then Rebecca is an agent out of White House. They combined those 2 offices to give you a new branch in the Exit tree. And they are just awesome. They are so involved in the community. They are, of course, founding partners of the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. And that's coming up on May 17th and 18th. You need to do a story on that.
Okay.
Oh, it's good stuff. And, there's a Bluegrass Festival coming up at the end of this month with the History Museum. And I got to reach out to Danny, Ashley, and Janet and all them and get them in here to talk about that. But I love it's going to kind of get us I love how we're just like linking all these things together. And so many fun things. And the Richards I always talk about community events when I talk about them because they're plugged into everything. I was at the Vietnam Vets recognition up at the Memorial Gardens a couple of weeks ago, and they were there. And it's just they're all over the place, and they love their community. They're cross-Plainians. They've been here, I don't know, nearly 30 years now. And so they specialize in our community, in Robeson County properties, but they also buy and sell in surrounding counties across the state line in Kentucky. Barry's the marketer, came out of a long marketing career out of Nashville. He was vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years. And when you bring that expertise to the table in presenting properties that you want to sell, you got a marketer in the team. Can't beat it, guys. They're a great team. And if you know somebody's wanting to be a realtor, they can mentor you and help you get into it as well. You can call them at 615-672-6729, 672-6729. Or I don't know if that's the wrong number. I'm looking at the wrong number. Let's try this one, 615-504-7425. I knew that didn't sound right. 615-504-7425 for Exit Prime Realty, Barry and Rebecca Richards. Let them know that you turned Cincha. But again, that number, I don't know why I gave you. You know how you just sometimes just have a brain blurb?
All the time, I do.
615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. What's next?
Well, I want to talk about a couple more things before we go. So one, written by our reader section, which you mentioned. Send us your content. Please, if you are a writer, whether this is fiction, nonfiction, as long as it has a positive theme, we have a whole section dedicated on our website for this. It's so funny. That section actually started after the very first time I was on your show.
Cool.
Somebody who was listening
Yay.
messaged me and was like, hey, I love what you do. I'm a short story writer. Would you be willing to post some of my stuff? And I read his stories and I was like crying because they were so good. And I was like, yeah, these are going on our website. We're going to start a whole new section. Like, thank you so much for inspiring Steve Haley. Appreciate you. Thanks for reaching out that one time. But yeah, we would love to have some more writers. So please send us your content. Another thing is Stay Positive News is about to turn 1, and I love celebrating birthdays so much. So of course we're going to have a birthday party. I would like to cordially invite all of you to it. It's going to be sometime in May. I'm going to have that date very, very soon for you. So be on the lookout for a Facebook invitation to our first birthday party. I'm hoping Miss Mabel will make an appearance at the party. So hopefully that's enough to bring you there.
That's a big thing right there. I love that.
But it'll just be really cool. We hope to invite all of our Stay Positive partners. We hope to invite all the people who we've written articles about and just really kind of bring everybody together in this awesome community moment where we can celebrate, like, look how our community has changed in this past year in a really positive way. So super excited to do that. And then the last thing I just want to remind you is go like and follow our pages on Facebook and Instagram, please, and invite your friends to like it too. That's really, really important to us as we continue to grow as a business, to be able to have more people who are actually plugged into our stuff. And that helps us be able to get some more sponsors too, so we can continue to bring positive news to our community for free.
I love it. And this written by our readers, we need to get some of these high school kids on here that can
Yes.
write. I'll make a point to reach out to a couple of our English teachers today, make sure they're aware of this.
Thank you.
Because I think that would be wonderful for these kiddos to see their stuff presented there, and just have to stay positive. Some of them want to write some stuff that are, you know, a little science, sci-fi, and a little, you know, edgy and all that. But it's like good, positive stories. And they could read some of Steve's examples here. But what a great avenue for that. I love that. I keep saying I'm going to send you some stuff. I got a lot of little short stuff.
Yeah, I know. I want to read.
Yeah,
I want to read
you
what
some
you
stuff.
got going on.
But it's just such a great idea, such a great concept, and you're doing just such a beautiful job with it. And almost happy birthday. So tell them again how to be a part of the birthday party. Yep. Remind them again in case they just caught the end of that.
So we're going to go follow us on Facebook. We're going to create an event post on there, which will have all the details to our party. It's going to be sometime in mid-May because that is when we actually launched last year. So yeah. And I'm really excited.
See, I love this picture of you guys in there. So you can find them on social media, Stay Positive News, and the little smiley face. Have you gotten the dress yet? You know, the dress I sent you the link to?
I really want to.
You got to get that dress.
I really want to, yeah.
Yeah, one of my sons, you know, it's kind of like they're at that place where we know they're going to get married, but they're not, you know, they're not engaged yet. But my future daughter-in-law's sister, she comes, we were meeting her for the first time. She comes walking in this dress, and it's got these smiley faces all over it. And I'm like, I need to know where you got that right now. And I messaged you. I said, okay, you need this dress. But it was so cute. It was so cute.
It is cute. Logo. So, yes, the smiley face. I know. I'm probably going to buy it. I've already planned how I'm going to wear it. Actually, with this jean jacket and these shoes I have on today, I'm like, this would be so cute. Yeah. I need it, but I have shopping problems, so I gotta limit myself.
I gotcha. I understand. But you can follow them on social media. You can go and just plug into the page staypositive.news, staypositive.news. Anything as we're partying. I know we have got the Go Show coming up. Now, Lee Marie's got a guest host, so be nice to him. He'll be in here in just a minute. But we got the Go Show coming up right after this show. But anything before we wrap it up?
Well, Stay Positive News. So we are posting multiple articles a week. They are real stories about real people and real businesses here in Robertson County and Sumner County. Those are the two areas that we cover. And we just love to tell stories. So if you have any positive news stories, please reach out to us too. We love to follow up on all of those leads and continue to bring more positivity to our community.
Well, speaking of Lee Marie, I'll give you a little plug right now. She's getting ready to open a dance studio on the square. I don't have the details in front of me, but she is just in the next few days, I think, maybe first of next week. Do you know the details on it? You're going to talk about it? Okay, and so they're getting ready to open up, and we'll have her on to talk more about it. I just didn't have anything open this week for her to talk about it. That'd be a great story, because Lee Marie's story is so interesting, because she's a transplant here from California, and she is one of these people that moved here and just plugged into the community, and has got her hand in so many different things. And so that might be a really good story to do. 'Cause she's getting, opening up this business, and just being, when you come into a new community and you within weeks know more about the community than those of us who've been here for 20 years, that's saying something.
Yeah.
And she truly has opened doors for me into things I didn't know that was going on. I didn't know that was going on. She just plugs in, and she's an interesting character. She's
Love
an
that.
interesting character. So she might be a really good place to do a Stay Positive news story on. So there you go, Lee Marie. How about that? And that's what we do, guys. Reach out to Rachel and give her your stories. The best place to just follow you on social media and maybe shoot you. There's a link on the staypositive.news.
Honestly, any way you want to contact us, please
There
do.
you go. All right. Well, thank you so much. And tell the
Thank
guys
you.
to say hello. I'll see them at a meeting coming up next Tuesday that they'll both, I don't know if they're both going to be there or not, with the Recovery Court Board.
I don't know.
They're on the board.
I'll be going to the graduation, though.
Yes.
That's coming up.
Recovery Court graduation is coming up. It is 2 weeks from tomorrow, I think.
I'll be there.
If I'm not mistaken. But 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be talking more about that. I'll reach out to Megan and Althea and Judge, and we'll get them in here and remind you of that, because that's free lunch, and it's just an encouragement. I mean, that's not the reason you're going. They're going to feed you, but it is to encourage these folks that have just gotten a new start. Oh my gosh, I just can't say enough. Once you go to a Recovery Court graduation, you won't miss one. So that's 2 weeks from tomorrow, I think, is the date on that. But we'll talk more about that. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you
so much. Thank you guys for joining us for the Stay Positive .news segment, staypositive.news here on One Street Over. Now stay tuned, because it is time for The Go Show. We'll be right back with you in just a moment.
Mark your calendar, save the date. You don't want to miss it.